Good morning, Internet. Welcome to the August 31st edition of Pearls of Wisdom. Can't talk super long today because I'm about to head off to my first meeting of the morning, which is with the Collaboration for the Integration of Rehabilitation with Consumer Electronics Research Group, which we mercifully shortened to the CIRCLE Research Group. And, I thought it's kind of worthwhile just quickly talking about that. This is a group of, there's 6 of us in this group. It came together when I reached out to people in a variety of fields here at Western to basically say, hey, you know what? When I look around my desk, when I look at my smartphone, when I look at my Pebble watch, when I look at my Myo armband, my Leap motion controller, my Gear VR headset, which I don't happen to have with me here today, my Fitbit, my Sensoria smart socks. I mean, when we're looking at the world of wearables, and I realize that we're all walking around with 6 or 9 degree of freedom motion sensors in our pockets most of the time. People are now using smartphone technologies to conduct early diagnosis of dementia, for example. All sorts of peripherals that can help people with diabetes and other conditions to manage their condition. Why are we not harnessing the potential in wearable technologies and the advances in the consumer electronics space more for rehab? Historically, we've done a bit of this. So when the Nintendo Wii gaming console came out, many of you will probably remember, there was quite a lot of excitement around the rehab potential for that, as it got people to stand up and hold on to the little Wiimotes and move their hands around and things like that. We even ran a study on it years ago in a assisted living facility here in town. But as with a lot of these things, as people get sort of, the excitement kind of sometimes gets ahead of the use scenarios. And I know there's still a number of clinics around that will have a Nintendo Wii unit, maybe including their balance board, which again is very cool. It's a battery-powered force platform that sits in your living room or your clinic. But it's been a while since I've heard of anyone using them. I'm sure that people are still using them somewhere, but I think the issue there is that maybe the concept is neat, but we're not entirely sure what to do with it. And so anyway, this was sort of part of the idea for the CIRCLE Research Group. Is we've got a mechatronics expert, Ana Luisa Trejos, who's absolutely brilliant. Well, frankly, they're all brilliant. Dr. Jim Dickey is a biomechanist with our Faculty of Kinesiology. Dr. Mike Kachabaugh is a computer scientist here at Western. We've got Dr. Eldon Lowe, who's a physiatry and physical rehab medical specialist. And we've got Dr. Jeff Holmes, who's an occupational therapy faculty member, as well as myself with Physio. And so we've worked together now over the past 2 years, and we get together, as we're doing here in about 20 minutes, and we talk about new advances in technologies. So there's been a few recent big conferences in mobile and gaming tech recently, and we talk about ways that we can try to harness those to help with physical rehab. So our first project is about to drop, probably if things go well by the end of this year, which would be using smartphone technology to try and identify the etiology of different types of neck pain. Basically through motion analysis and machine learning algorithms, which I think is very, very cool. Could allow somebody like myself sitting here behind my desk in London, Ontario, Canada, to talk to somebody in Nunavut, and I could say, strap this phone or other device to your head, do this particular set of movements, and in real time I can get the feedback, and the phone can say, hey, this looks a lot like those 100 other people we've seen that had facet-related neck pain problems. So that's very cool. So I think we're getting close on that. I can only give away so much, I guess, because some of this will be patentable, but we're looking at creating wearable devices for manual therapists to try and quantify their performance. We're looking at the use of, for example, the Xbox Kinect camera to create basically visual illusions to help people with phantom limb problems, for example. We're looking at potential use for augmented reality in people with CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome. The VR world is something we're just breaking into now. We've got a fellow starting with us in September. Actually, who's going to start now doing some programming in the VR world for, well, any number of options, concussion and neck pain rehab, as well as we're creating sort of a road traffic collision simulator in that to allow us to quantify the stress responses to that sort of thing. So, anyway, my point here is that we need, as physios, I think, to keep a real close eye on the wearables and the consumer tech space. It is rapidly accelerating, and we seem to be sort of on a much slower slope. We need to be preparing for the next 10 years. Because I think 10 years from now, if I put on my pull up my crystal ball and look in there, I suspect that patients are going to be less excited about coming physically into a physiotherapy clinic 3 or 2 or whatever times per week to be pushed on and exercised, and more excited about sort of quantified self type things, personal tracking, monitoring exercise from a distance, from the comfort of their own home. And I think if we don't educate ourselves now on some of this, we're going to be a bit lost. So that's maybe my I don't know, warning for the future, I suppose. But yeah, it seems like it's well worth our while to keep an eye on what's happening in wearables, in mobile technology, in gaming technology, and frankly, any number of other fields of tech. All right, talk to you later.